he suffered an aortic dissection in his aortic root, and that luckily was caught. He went to St. Michael's Hospital, had a surgery that was successful, which prompted genetic testing. So the genetic testing came back positive for Loeys-Dietz. So there's 4 kids in my family. So me and my 3 brothers all tested positive for Loeys-Dietz type 4, as well as my father. So my father, at this point, from what we know, he was the random mutation because his siblings that have been tested have all tested negative. So the I guess myriad of genetic testing has ended at that point because my father was the only one who tested positive. So since then, it has been crazy enough. Like since 2022, we have all gone through so many MRIs and CTs and blood work, and just various imaging, various interviewing, various checks. When we did our initial testing, my father, myself, and my youngest brother, we all had normal measuring aortas. One of my brothers, who was 34, I think at the time, his aorta was measuring at the same size as my initial brother's dissected. So because of that, that prompted him to go into a preventative surgery, but also very necessary life-changing surgery. He had his aortic root replaced with a synthetic aorta to prevent the chance of dissection, which, you know, obviously we were all holding our breath. It was completely terrifying for him to go for open heart surgery. And like within the year, this was my second brother having open heart surgery. Tons of risks and complications associated, enormous recovery. But at the same time, so grateful that the technology and abilities of these specialists was there for him to be able to do it. So that was amazing. And now from this point, we continue with imaging. So every year I have to get head and neck imaging because I have aneurysms in my vertebral artery and internal carotid. So those are just being monitored. My aorta, because it measured normal, as well as my iliac arteries measured normal. So every 2 years I have an MRI just to make sure that it's still normal. So now obviously with imaging, it's stressful. Every single time you go in, you're like, even if it's changed by 0.1 of a millimeter, you know, that's going to start a cascade of surgical consults and all kinds of conversations. So you never know. There's also just like the fear of the unknown there at all time. You feel sharp pain, you feel a severe headache. My first thought is always, is something happening with an aneurysm? Is there a dissection? Is something happening? So when I was diagnosed, that's one of my husband's first comments. He goes, I think we'll have a lot of false alarms at the emerge because, you know, you're better to be safe than sorry. You need to go check. You need to make sure, basically.